Hello everyone on la chaîne Géopolitique. So let's comment the latest development in the Middle East region, which shows a clear discrepancy now in terms of foreign policy between United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia. And so we raise a question in this video: is this the end of the alliance between United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia? Indeed. So during years, we know that those two countries, United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia, have led a common foreign policy on diverse military grounds in Yemen, in Libya, in Syria, against Qatar, the same foreign policy against Iran. So we saw absolute, let's say, an absolute the same foreign policy and the same objective in terms of foreign policy led by both countries, which that's why we talked during years about an alliance between Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. However, the latest developments is trying to show, to prove that this alliance is probably at least and is let's say disappearing, or at least undermined by the latest developments. First of all, we saw that United Arab Emirates does not have currently the same foreign policies as Saudi Arabia. First of all, we see that United Arab Emirates has decided to establish diplomatic ties with Israel, unlike Saudi Arabia. I mean, during months we have thought that if the United Arab Emirates have decided to take such a move, I mean, Saudi Arabia will follow suit. Or we saw that 4 months later, I mean, the announcement has been made in mid-August by the United Arab Emirates, and we are mid-December. So 4 months later, still Saudi Arabia has not recognized Israel, while the term of President Trump is ending 20th of January. So it seems now unlikely that before the end of the term of Donald Trump office, Saudi Arabia will recognize Israel. So first, we see a clear discrepancy about how to have a diplomatic relationship with Israel. So that's the first discrepancy. A second major discrepancy is about the Qatari blockade. I mean, Saudi Arabia decided to enter into negotiations to end the blockade, as declared by the Saudi foreign minister. So Saudi Arabia is now clearly interested in ending as quickly as possible this blockade, while the United Arab Emirates has not entered into discussion and has not expressed any interest about it. So it means that if the blockade ends, it will be just a bilateral agreement between Saudi Arabia and Qatar, and the blockade led by the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Egypt against Qatar will continue. So it's another major discrepancy in terms of foreign policy. A third one is that the United Arab Emirates has decided to ban the issuance of new visa from 13 Muslim majority countries like Tunisia, Yemen, Turkey, Iran, Syria, Somalia, Pakistan, Iraq, Lebanon, Libya. While so far, I mean, Saudi Arabia does not want to have such, let's say, hostile foreign policy against those countries. So clearly, what we see is the United Arab Emirates is paying, if you like, the cost of the recognition of Israel by cutting ties, or at least reducing his diplomatic ties by not issuing visa from certain Muslim majority countries. So concretely, what we see, it's like a rapprochement between United Arab Emirates and what we can call the Western world, meaning United States, France, and Israel. Currently, the United Arab Emirates is negotiation is as sell as sorry has concluded an arm deal with the United States worth $23 billion, which includes the F-35 jet, the most sophisticated jet in the world, and also to buy some the most sophisticated drones, which is which is called the Predator B, which is a hunter killer drone. So basically, what we saw is that the United Arab Emirates could become the first Arab country in the world which could get this F-35 jet and the Predator B drones. No Arab country as such, let's say, do not have any such weapons. And basically, if this arm deal goes through, which is still not entirely sure, but which is likely due to the fact that some US lawmakers are objecting to selling to the United Emirates. If it goes through, it means that United Arab Emirates will have a kind of will gain the what we can call qualitative military edge, which is currently held by the region by Israel, because it's the only country in Middle East which have this 35 jet. And thanks to this normalization of ties between both countries, United Arab Emirates and Israel, Israel officially, unofficially it's less true, but officially lifted its objection to sell those weapons. So right now what we see, it's ham race between in the Middle East. Clearly the United Arab Emirates wants to get those weapons, and that's why has probably normalized its tie with Israel. But what we see, it's like it changed also geopolitical relationship, because probably due to this arm deal, United Arab Emirates, you understand, is less interested in normalizing also its tie with Qatar, because Qatar does not have such weapons. Actually, the Qatari defense ministry has also expressed an interest to buy the F-35, but so far this request has been rejected by the US, because Qatar does not want to recognize Israel, and so in return, US does not want to sell the 35 to Qatar. So it means that there is a quality military edge from the United Arab Emirates over Qatar. So that explains that there is probably only bilateral discussion between Qatar and Saudi Arabia, and not between Qatar and the United Arab Emirates. And so we see that the region, what we call also the GCC, the Gulf Cooperation countries, have the different country. And what is more surprising, it's starting to show a clear gap, clear rift between Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates in terms of foreign policy. Saudi Arabia is much more interested in getting better ties with its neighbor, Qatar, to also to get along with the Muslim world in general, while the United Arab Emirates does not care about its reputation, its image in the Muslim world, is much more interested in, let's say, in developing ties with Western world, in investing, for example, in Israel, in now in hosting Israeli citizen in his country, which it started 3 weeks ago. So clearly, what we see, it's a clear difference between both countries, and it has been illustrated this week by the speech of Turki Al Faisal. Actually, you have I've copied you can hear the speech of Turki Al-Faisal in my comments below this video. Because it shows, I think, it illustrates more than ever how this rift is very wide between both countries. I mean, this speech of Turki Al-Faisal has slammed very clearly Israel, has blamed, as never I've heard from a Saudi official Israel about his, let's say, policy against the Palestinian, qualifying Israel of a Western colonizing power, using words like blood killer. So, I mean, it shows clearly that in Saudi Arabia, I mean, if we accept for sure the personality of the Saudi crown prince, but in general, there is a consensus in Saudi Arabia among the princes that Saudi Arabia should not recognize Israel. It's not part in the interest of Saudi Arabia, while it's a totally another speech among the princes of the United Arab Emirates. So we see more than ever that there is a clear rift, and we will continue to follow the latest development in the region.